What's up, everyone? It's Tech Trooper 64, and today, here's my opinion video of the day. Now, this opinion video is going to be a little bit one that I know a lot of you are not going to like, but it is my own opinion, and I want to hear what your guys' thoughts on it are. So, as you probably read in the title, why do I prefer the Xbox One over the PS4? Here's why. I have 5 reasons specifically why I prefer the Xbox One experience over the PS4 experience. So, let's talk about it. So, the first thing is number 5 is that the PS4 is buggier than the Xbox One. Let me explain. Now, I owned a PS4 back in 2014, a whole year after the Xbox One and PS4 came out. And let me tell you, when I say I had very little, if not a lot, of a good time with the PS4. I owned one at that time. I also bought one later that had Black Ops 3 included. It wasn't bad. It's just, what I didn't like was there was a lot of glitches with the PS4. Sometimes I would turn on my PS4 and it wouldn't display on my TV. And another time I would turn on my PS4 and it would turn on my TV, but then it would immediately crash. Not just that, but also when I was playing The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim, that also crashed the PS4. And actually today it happened again. The PS4 Pro, when I booted it up, couldn't display on my television. And when I finally got it to display on my television, it simply said, "Oh, what was your error? The PlayStation encountered an error last time you booted up the PS4." I find myself having more and more issues with the PS4 that I've never encountered with the Xbox One. Now, I will admit there have been slight issues, very slight issues with the Xbox One. For example, that my controller wouldn't connect immediately, but then it's like I would just turn off the console and turn it on again, then the controller would connect. But I've never had issues where it never turns on or never boots up on the screen. The PS4 Pro, I think specifically as well, had problems booting up when I first got it as well. I remember it was plugged in. And it still wasn't turning on. I was clicking the power button like 7 times. It wasn't booting up. It was just having a lot of issues. I find that Sony's consoles have a lot of issues a lot of the time, or at least in my experience, I should say, because I did hear that a lot of people didn't have a lot of problems with the PS4, but I did. And I feel that the Xbox One is a lot more of a stable experience in terms of the interface and how you use it. And next, the fourth reason, or the second reason, however we're doing this, is that there's no good exclusives. Now, I know that I sound hypocritical because there are exclusives like Uncharted and Last of Us. But guys, what you have to understand is that all of these are remasters. The Last of Us was remastered for PS4. Uncharted, the whole trilogy was remastered for PS4. God of War was remastered for PS4. Little Big Planet was the only game in 2014 that was a true exclusive for the PS4. Now, I know there was Killzone Shadowfall, but Killzone wasn't my favorite, to be honest. But I think, in my opinion anyways, the first true game that came out for PS4 that really made me want to buy a PS4 to play it was Uncharted 4. And even at that, I still wouldn't count that. I would maybe count Horizon Zero Dawn, but that's just how I feel. I haven't really had the time to play a lot of Uncharted 4, but now that I'm playing more Horizon, I'm starting to realize that maybe Horizon's better than Uncharted 4, and it's just a lot of things like that that just make me don't really like the software lineup on the PS4. Let's continue. The next thing I want to say about how I think the Xbox One is better than the PS4, the online experience is better. I feel that with Xbox, I pay for Xbox Live regularly, and I have a stable online experience. Now, yes, you're always going to encounter trolls and people who are assholes, but I'm talking like connection problems, issues with connection and stuff. I've never had that on Xbox One. On PS4, which I did pay for PS Plus at one point, I had a lot of issues. It was slow. It couldn't connect. I had issues with connecting with other players. I didn't like it very much. And now the fourth reason why I think the Xbox One is better. If I'm being perfectly honest, I think it's the controller. The controller, I think, in the Xbox One, at first it's hard to get used to after you play with the 360 for so long. But now, looking back, I have to say the Xbox One is like a very much deserved upgrade over the Xbox 360 controller. Now, granted, it still takes AA batteries, but if you ask me, I have no problem with that because I just simply have AA batteries always lying around in my room, so I can just replace it on the fly, and it's not that hard. And not just that, but also the AA batteries I noticed last for at least 20 hours on the Xbox One controller, while the PS4 controller struggles to stay more than 6 hours. That's not a joke. I always find myself having to recharge my controller almost every goddamn time. That's just me. And finally, the fifth reason, which I think is going to piss off most of you, when I'm playing on PS4, which I like buying more games physically than digitally, it doesn't tell me how much is installed from the disc, which drives me up a wall. And here's why. When I put a disc in, and then it loads up really fast. Like, there's that small loading bar when you put the disc in on your PS4. And then it's like, oh, okay, I can play my game now. You boot up the game, and then, only 20% of the multiplayer is installed. You can't play it yet. Why'd you tell me to boot it up then? Like, I hate when PS4 does that. It doesn't give you an indication how much of the disc install is left. It's been an issue I've had since it launched. They still haven't fixed it. They still haven't given an indication on how far the install is. I don't care if I have to wait. Just tell me how far the install is going. On the Xbox One, when I go into my games and apps on the Xbox One, it tells me how much is left to install on the disc and how much I have to wait. And then I can just simply boot up a game of NHL or any other game that's installed on the hard drive already and say, okay, I'll just play this for a bit while it's installing. And then I'll know how much time I can spend. Look, I'm not bashing on the PS4. It's a good console. It's just I prefer the Xbox One over the PS4. Currently, I don't have an Xbox One, and the odds are that you're probably going to be seeing gameplay from the PS4, and if not, you're going to be seeing an older Xbox game. But I don't have an Xbox One right now. I sold my last one so I could buy 2 terabyte because I do have someone who's willing to sell me theirs for a cheap price. So I'm going to rebuy a 2 terabyte Xbox One S soon. But for now, I'm kind of stuck with the PS4, and I can't help but complain about everything that's happening on it. Anyway, guys, be sure to rate, comment, favorite, subscribe, and let me know in the comments down below. What is your preferred console, PS4 or Xbox One? Or are you just simply on the Nintendo camp or PC camp, and you're just like, it doesn't matter to me. I have my PC or Nintendo console. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.